And I think the next phase is we'll take the clamp off, take the spring pack back apart, and take all the pieces outside and grind all the scale off them so we don't have any stress risers in there, and hopefully they won't crack for a while. I want to leave this, the same patina as everything else for obvious reasons, so we'll probably end up either slathering grease on each of the leaves or possibly spraying them down with spray grease first. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, we're well on our way here. So we'll get these descaled and whatnot, put the spring pack together, and start getting this front end back under the car. This is exciting. We're going together, finally, gaining ground. All right, guys. Well, we got this all ground down with the wire rope wheel and got all the scale off. And there's probably a couple of you that are thinking after that comment about, wanting this to have the patina and everything. Well, like, why are you grinding the leaf springs all down to shiny bare metal? Well, basically because I don't want them to break. And that may raise some more questions, but essentially, this has to do with stress and stress risers in the material. And, I'm not going to get rid of the pitting. The pitting is not ideal either, but getting them as smooth as possible will help. So the next question you may be asking is, well, now you've ground it all down, it's just going to rust again if you don't paint it. Well, yes, that is a possibility. And I do want the edges to patina out a bit to match the car. I would like these to not remain shiny bare metal. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to take some Murphy's tire and tube compound, which does have rust inhibitors, and we're going to paint it on the tops and bottoms of all the leaf springs between the springs. This is vegetable oil based, so it's a water repellent, and it should provide a little bit of lubricity between the leaves, and it should, at least for a period of time, it should reduce any corrosion between the leaf springs and improve our life expectancy for all the hard work that we've just put into these things.
Few moments later.
All right, so I trimmed up that top leaf, so that way it's the same distance from the center pin on either side. That way we won't get any uneven compression on the leaf below it. So we'll go ahead and get these painted up and start moving forward with getting the front end back under this. Well, before we can install the new front leaf spring, we got to get what's left of the old main leaf out of here. And to do that, we're going to have to get these crustaceous old cotter pins out of here and these old castle nuts off of what I suppose I would consider the shackle here. So this should be fun, interesting. Probably going to end up getting the smoke wrench back out, but you never know. Let's see what happens. Sorry guys, GoPro died again, but I had to compress the spring a little bit just to get it to reach the shackles on either end. Once that spring settles in, it won't be an issue, but just show you how I did that. Nothing special, but you saw the predicament happen and then didn't get to see the resolution, so not too shabby. Got the shackles all put on. Obviously, we don't have the cotter pins in there yet, but good enough. So we'll pop that C-clamp off and get the floor jack under the axle, bring this thing up into the cross member. We're gaining ground. This is awesome. All right, we are making slow and steady gains. It is really nice to see the front end back under this thing. And we've got the brakes pretty well freed up. There wasn't really a lot to film on this. It was a lot of, randomly walking past and hitting it with penetrating oil and randomly grabbing the brake adjuster and backing it out and running it back in again and tapping things. But mostly what I've been doing is just grabbing the actuator and wiggling it back and forth. And the rollers on this side are bound up. I don't think it's worth taking them apart because the shoes are pretty hammered. We're gonna leave them that way for now. We got bigger fish to fry, but they're functioning as is. Just hosed it with some spray grease. And same thing with the other side. Same process. Hosed it down with some spray grease. This side, the shoes are in a lot better shape and the rollers are free, but same thing, working, not too shabby, so we'll take it. Now we got to move on with trying to see if we can straighten out the tops of these drums that get all bashed to heck trying to get the drums off, and then determine if we're going to need drums or not. So we will do some reverse percussive maintenance on these things and see if we can make them right-ish again. Well, we got these about as cleaned up as they're going to get. This one didn't turn out too awful bad. It looks usable. This one, on the other hand, oh yeah. Yeah, you can definitely see light through that. So this one is rotted and pitted really bad. So what we're going to do for now is we're going to put these back right where they came from. We're going to put the bad drum on this side with the badder shoes, and then the better drum we'll put on that other side with the better shoes. But they'll get us started. They'll go on, they'll roll.
You sure about that?
For now, and maybe they'll even stop a little bit. That'd be cool. Onward and upward. So we got to clean up the outer front wheel bearings, and I've got some old nasty gasoline. You know your gasoline's bad when it kind of looks like urine. But waste not, want not. So we're using that as a solvent to clean up front wheel bearings. You can see it's already starting to take effect. It's kind of cool to watch, actually. So we'll just stir this bearing around in here a bit. Oh yeah, where'd it go? And that'll cut all the old grease binder and junk, and we'll get this cleaned up and blow it out with the air gun and repack it with fresh grease.
1 week later.
Well, we're back out in the shop, and so these have been soaking actually for a week because, some adulting had to happen, and it's disrupting my shop time. But we're going to grab these and pop them out of this solution of nasty old gasoline, and we'll hose them out with some brake clean. and see how they look. This is like fishing. I know there's a bearing in here somewhere. Oh, I think I got one. Now normally I try to do this kind of nasty stuff with the brake cleaner outside. Don't like it in the shop when I can avoid it, but it's crappy outside. So got some paper towels in the bottom of the cookie sheet here to soak up some of the mess, and hopefully it doesn't stink too bad in here. Alright guys, so we got these all cleaned and rinsed and dried, and I did actually go ahead and pull that last one off and give it a real quick splash. I felt a little guilty for, you know, not giving it the same preferential treatment as the other ones, but I thought this was kind of cool. Now that these are all cleaned up, you can read the bearing manufacturer and number. Let's see, Bauer, and the bearing number is A1216. Can see it clear as day on there. No idea if these bearings are the original bearings to the car or not. They could be. It's plausible. But they look really good. So we're going to go ahead and get these repacked with grease and start reinstalling them on the car. And then we can put the brake drums back on. And then we can move on to front wheels. Exciting, I know. Well guys, we were cruising right along and things were going swimmingly. I was cleaning up the outer bearing races in the brake drums to get ready to reinstall things. Got the spindles cleaned up and installed those inner bearings on the spindles. Sorry I didn't record some of this, but my hands were absolutely covered in grease and brake cleaner, and yeah, not good for running camera equipment. However, when we were cleaning up this, you know, this nasty drum that has the hole in it, well, that bearing race definitely got broken trying to beat this drum off of the spindle. So I panicked a little bit and said, oh crap, you know, we're up a creek without a paddle now. And I got to thinking, you know, that outer bearing is awfully close to that John Deere H that we were working on. So I went through my little scrap box here and I picked the outer race for the John Deere bearing out of it. And I'm soaking it here in a fresh, you wouldn't know it was fresh, but a fresh batch of gasoline here so I can get the part number off it. And we're going to go ahead and get the Dremel out. Dremel. And we're going to get some of this nasty burring off the edge of here and drive this race out of here so I can pull the number off it and see if we're going to get really lucky. Maybe that old John Deere race will match and we can be on our way with this crappy brake drum to get us by in the interim until we can replace it. So let's get moving. Well, guys, I tell you what, that John Deere race isn't exact, but it's close enough, and it's going to do what we need it to do. I'll take it. All right, so we got our scrap bearing race in there, and this is how we hacked this to make it work. This drum is already shot, and this bearing bore was already bent to crap from beating the heck out of it trying to get the drum off. So I had straightened it out and then basically peened it in 4 locations, 90 degrees apart. That way, this race was about 20 thousandths smaller in diameter than the one that's supposed to be in there. So just enough, would you focus? Just enough that it will pinch the race so that the race doesn't spin in the bore. This is just supposed to be a temporary solution, enough to allow us to get the car together, get it rollable, etc., until such time that I'm able to source a new set of front drums for this thing. Yeah, we just want to dip our grease a bit here. And we'll just paint some pretty little grease on this bearing race. Dabba, 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 dabba. Oh yeah, Bob Ross would be proud. Well, now we got this drum on, and unfortunately, due to a strange irony, this drum being the better of the two, actually came off harder when we tried to remove it. So this one got abused pretty bad, and this one is bent bad enough that I can't get a full rotation out of it. And I've got the shoes backed all the way off. I didn't prior, but unfortunately, this is not even going to get us by enough to roll the car around, but it will get us by enough that we can put the front wheels on it and set it down on the ground so that we can move forward with setting the engine in it and assessing that situation, and still in the interim while we try to source another set of front drums for it. So, you know, it's maybe not 1 step forward, 2 steps back, but it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back, we'll put it that way. That's the glass is half full point of view, right? Yeah. Moving right along. Now we got to do something about those front wheels. Well, now we got to make the important choice of what to use for front wheels. And we got a selection here. These two are the ones that came off. And they're not great, but they are usable. Arguably, they're pitted pretty bad. We got this set that I had in storage, and you know, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, that's almost too nice. I mean, that's got remnants of paint on it, so I don't know about that. We got this set that Steve was nice enough to donate. These are a strong contender. The tires are no good, so we'd have to break the tires down and swap them out, but these are very possible. And then we got this set. This set's got a really nice patina on them. You got 1 hubcap on this one. We got 1 more hubcap on the set that Steve donated. So we got 2 hubcaps. And this set does have a matched set of tires on them, but this one has no tube in them. And I have no idea if this one holds air or not. But we could grab an air tank and try it. And I got a set of used tubes from Steve, so we could break this one off the bead and slide a tube in there and make that work. So let's grab an air tank and see if this one will take air. Now that we got the tires mounted, we got to get this block of wood out of here. And I'm not entirely sure what was going on with this. I'm not sure if they were trying to make this rim into a table or what, but time to turn it back into a wheel again. So we'll pop those bolts out of there and see if this thing fits. Well, guys, would you look at that? Almost looks like a car. How do you like them apples, huh? Not bad. I think we're going to cut this one off right here. I'm still contemplating this situation with the brake drums. I may want to take another stab at making those usable before I commit to this 4-hour round trip to replace them, unless something better comes along in the interim. But that's it for this one. So stay tuned. We're going to keep plugging away on this thing. We're gaining ground. And I think coming up here pretty quick is setting the engine in it. We need to at least try to fire this engine up. No other accoutrements or accessories. We just want to kind of assess it and see if it's any good, but we got to get it setting in the car first. We're probably going to end up separating the transmission off it. Just drop the engine alone in there and see what we got. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming up. Thanks, guys, for watching. I appreciate it very much, and keep saving the old iron.